Over the past month, I've discussed several of the least used and most forgotten vehicles in Jailbreak. Now I wanted to take a look at the other side of this spectrum. Which ones are the most used by the players? Here I'm going to talk about the 10 vehicles which I believe are the most used among Jailbreak public servers. Now keep in mind this list is talking about most used vehicles, not most common vehicles. I'm referring to the amount of these vehicles that I see in public servers, not the amount of them that exist. Also keep in mind that this is based on a mixture of my subjective experience in public servers as well as the accessibility of the vehicles, taking into account their spawn point and their price. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Starting off the list, we have the Model 3, aka the cheapest Tesla. This is a really popular starter vehicle due to the great value. It has really good stats and they increase exponentially as you upgrade the engine, and it seats 4 people. For only 16,000 J-Bucks, it's a really great deal, and it has a good spawn point as well. This is a vehicle I see in pretty much every server I join. I usually see around 1 or 2 Teslas per server. It's not the go-to vehicle for noobs, but I do see it quite frequently. Use of it will probably only increase with the recent update that allows players to spawn any vehicle that costs under 100,000 J-Bucks from the mobile garage. Next up, the Interrogator. This one's pretty surprising to me since I always find this vehicle to be quite mediocre, but I actually see them used quite frequently by noob cops. It's really easy to access because it spawns at both police stations, and noob cops are not going to take the Camaro if they have a better option, so I often see them driving around with the Interrogator. I have to admit I'm seeing this vehicle less frequently because in general I don't see that many cops in servers, but I'm still including it on the list because it seems to be the go-to vehicle for many lower level cops. Next we have a super iconic muscle car, the Challenger. It is a great mid-tier vehicle with a good top speed of 165 miles per hour, and this is one of the most common vehicles I see lower level players using. It has a great spawn location in front of the gun shop in the town, which is a location that pretty much all players go to after they escape the prison, so it's really easy for noobs to get in and start driving away in the Challenger. I see this vehicle a lot, and it's definitely one of the most common noob criminal vehicles. Next we have the first supercar on the list, the Bugatti Chiron. The stats are quite good, it has great acceleration and a good top speed, and it's permanent, so of course I'm going to see people using this vehicle really frequently. I see it most often when people are escaping the jewelry store, since it spawns right next to the J store and it's an easy escape vehicle. Even though this is one of the more expensive Jailbreak vehicles, once people purchase it, they're really likely to continue using it, so I definitely feel it is worth including on the list. Then we have the Tesla Roadster. Like the Chiron, this is also one of the more expensive vehicles in Jailbreak. In fact, this one costs 100,000 more than the Chiron, but it is still used quite frequently by players who own it. The acceleration on this car is really good, and this vehicle is really handy to use when players are in sticky situations. It's also really helpful for cops as it's easy for them to catch people with it. Kicking off the top 5, we have the Little Bird. It's an affordable flying vehicle which people can access really easily, and it's many people's vehicle of choice when it comes to robbing the cargo ship since it's small and it's easy to evade the missiles. Many players like to use this vehicle since it's small and it's hard to be shot down. I constantly see people using this vehicle. Then we have the pickup truck. This is often the first purchase that new players to Jailbreak end up making. It's spawnable, it's pretty cheap, and it seats 4 players. I frequently see a couple noobs driving around in this vehicle in every server. Now that players can spawn any vehicle under 100k, I wonder if usage of the pickup truck will decrease, but as of right now, I still see this vehicle used pretty frequently. Kicking off the top 3, we have the Lamborghini. This is a classic Jailbreak vehicle, one of the most iconic and one of the most used. It spawns at several great locations like the volcano base and the bank, which players frequently go to, so it's easy for people to access, and the stats are really good. The purchase of this vehicle often reflects the transition of the player from noob to mid-tier. It shows they take the game seriously enough to continue to buy better and better vehicles, and that they value the process of making money and they wish to continue playing the game as efficiently as possible. The second most used vehicle in Jailbreak is definitely the free helicopter. I don't need to talk much about this one. It's a free vehicle. It's a flying vehicle, which is a big advantage in Jailbreak as it lets you get to several locations easier. It's a bit harder to get to the free heli since it's often locked behind a keycard, but many players are persistent enough to go through the obstacles, and I frequently see criminals using this helicopter. And of course, on the cop team, it's pretty much impossible to play in a server without seeing some of these. But the most used vehicle in Jailbreak is undoubtedly the Camaro. It's the most iconic vehicle in Jailbreak. You can't go through a Jailbreak session without using this vehicle at least once. It represents the beginning of Jailbreak. It was in the game since the very first day, and it continues to be used by players discovering Jailbreak for the very first time. It will always be the most common and most used vehicle in Jailbreak. That's gonna wrap up my quick video discussing 10 of the most used vehicles in Jailbreak. What do you think? Which vehicles do you see the most often when you're playing the game? Make sure to comment all your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and join my Discord server as well as my Roblox group. And I hope to see you all next time. Bye bye.